Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome everyone on today's lecture, that is monopoly. This is module 11, lecture 1 of this series. I am Dr. Tilkaraj, assistant professor at University Business School, Punjab University, Chandigarh. The project name is DTH Swayamprabha MHRD New Delhi. So let us discuss what are the outcomes of this chapter, this module. And I am sure after completion of this module, you will be able to learn the basic feature of monopoly. 2. Source and causes of monopoly. 3. Equilibrium of monopolist under short run and long run. And 4th, the price output determination under monopoly. And comparison between monopoly and perfect competition. And we'll also try to discuss the price discrimination and types of discrimination. So let us discuss what is monopoly, meaning of monopoly. Monopoly is the market structure in which single firm is the sole producer of a product for which there is no close substitutes. Since the monopoly is only the seller in the market, it has neither a rival nor direct competitors. For example, if you get your electricity from one agency only, that is electricity board, you travel by railway train owned and run by Government of India. These are some examples of monopoly. Furthermore, no other seller can enter in the market. There is a restriction of entry in the market. Monopoly, you cannot differentiate between firm and industry because of there is only one seller. So monopolist is a firm as well as the industry. The firm is the industry since there is only one producer in the market. Monopoly or monopolist is the price maker. He determines the price, but it depends upon the monopoly power. Means how much he is able to sell that product, how much control he has over the market. Its demand curve will be sloped downwards. So monopoly is a type of market structure in which there is only one seller of the product in the market. There is no close substitutes for the product and entry is blocked. It is a market form which only one seller make and other one seller making and selling the product that has no close substitutes. Monopoly has only one seller who is able to influence the total supply and price of the goods and services. Whereas in perfect competition, we have discussed that firm in the market is only the price taker. They cannot make the price. But here in monopoly, the firm has full right to make the price. Firm is the price maker, but it depends upon the how much control that firm has on the market. There are no close substitutes, means the firm, the product which the firm is producing, that has no close substitutes. And there are barriers to entry, means like perfect competition, the firm cannot enter or firm cannot exit freely in the market. Thus, monopoly is the exact opposite of the situation of prevailing in the perfect competition. You know that in perfect competition, firm is a price taker, we have already discussed. A monopoly, firm is price maker. A firm is considered a monopoly if it has sole seller in the of the product, its product. Its product does not have the close substitutes. And in the pure case, entry is blocked. No one can enter in the market in case of monopoly. Let us discuss some features or assumption of the monopoly. So on the basis of the definitions, we can conclude one seller, large number of buyers. Whereas in perfect competition, where we have large number of buyers and large number of sellers, but here one seller, large number of buyers. There is only one firm in the market, but the buyers of the product are large. But no buyer can influence the price, but the seller can. Why? Because of there is no close substitute available in the market. Seller can change the price, can influence the price because of he is only the producer in the market. There is no competitor, no direct rival is there in the market. That's why the firm has a full control over the price. But it depends upon the control over the market, supply over the market. If the producer has, that's called monopoly power. More monopoly power means he can influence more price. Less monopoly power means less control over the market. He has less control over the price. Second, monopoly is also an industry because of only one firm. So you cannot differentiate between industry and firm. So monopolist is an industry also. Then under monopoly situation, there is only one firm. The difference between firm and industry disappears. Third point is no substitute. Cross elasticity of demand is zero in case of monopoly. The commodity produced by the firm should have they should have no substitute in the market. Price maker. A monopolist is price maker. A price is one who has got control over the supply of the product. A monopolist has full control over the supply of the commodity, but as I have told you that it depends upon the market control. It depends upon the supply control. So, no doubt, he is the price maker because there is no close substitute available in the market. Then, price discrimination, which is the important feature of the monopolist. Monopoly market. A monopolist may be able to change the different prices for the same product to different customers. Meaning why? The monopolist is able to differentiate the price. He can sell the product at different prices to the different customers of the same product. So price discrimination is another important feature of monopoly. Entry blocked. This firm cannot enter and cannot exit in that market, and may not be perfect information about the price and quality. In last module we have discussed in case of perfect competition, there is a free entry and exit. Firm can freely enter in the market. There is no restriction. When there is a possibility of profit, firm can enter. and there is a possibility of loss, maybe firm can exit, and the producer, consumer has full knowledge about the market, the perfect information about the price, quality. But in monopoly, there may not be perfect information about the price and quality of the product. Industry demand equal to the firm demand. In perfect competition, we have discussed that the demand of the firm or the price of the firm fixed by the industry through demand and supply force of the market. The market mechanism. The market mechanism play a very important role in case of perfect competition. But here, in case of monopoly, industry demand is the firm demand. And no doubt, this is very important that demand curve will be downward sloping. Because of if producer, if that monopolist want to sell more commodity, then he has to reduce the price. Law of demand. Higher the price, lower the demand, and lower the price, higher will be the demand in case of this. But in case of the perfect competition, we have a straight line, the demand curve. There's no, you are not able to differentiate between AR and MR because of homogeneous product is there. Homogeneity is there. And downward sloping of the demand, I have stated you that higher the price and lower the demand, lower the price and higher will be the demand. Now, what are the sources? What are the causes of the monopoly? This is very, very important. Why monopoly exists? Control over the raw material. When one firm has full control, if producer has full control over the raw material or any product, definitely that firm has that will become the monopolist in the market. Patent rights, copyrights you have, patent right if you have, so you can there can be monopolist. Government licensing policy. If government will give license to a particular person, agency, that become the monopolist. So these play important role in case of that causes of monopoly, whether the control over the raw material or patent rights or government policies, even the size of market, the control over that, how much the plant or how much the control over the supply you have in the market. High entry cost. Sometimes you have to pay huge amount to enter in that market, or you are not able to enter in the market. Any firm will not able to enter in that market. That means only one, those who is producing that, the person, the monopolist who is producing in the market, that he become the monopolist. Natural monopoly. Sometimes some countries has that the natural monopoly. Iran, Iraq, Kuwait has they have the lot of the oil products, crude oil products. So they have the natural monopoly. So why monopoly arise? The fundamental cause is barrier to entry. The fundamental cause of monopoly is barrier to entry. No other firm, if enter in the market, if there are some barrier in the market, the producer can become the monopolist. Barrier to entry have three sources. Ownership of the key sources. You are only the producers. The government gives a single firm the exclusive right to produce some commodities. If government provide license to a particular producer, then in the market there can be emergence of this existence of monopoly. Cost of production make a single producer more efficient than the large number of producers. If a particular firm can produce at a very low cost as compared to other firms, that can become the monopolist. Because of that has sorry, full control over the market. Although exclusive ownership of a key source is a potential source of monopoly, in practice monopolies rarely exist for this reason. Source of monopoly, ownership, exclusive ownership, very rare. But the government created monopoly are common. Government may restrict entry by giving a single firm, by giving a license to a single firm. The exclusive right to sell a particular commodity to a certain market. And then there will be, they become the monopolist. Patent, copyright laws are two another important example how the government create a monopoly to serve the public interest. Now, next is the natural monopoly. I have already stated. An industry has natural monopoly when a single firm can supply good or services to the entire market at a smaller cost than could other two or more firms. When a particular industry is able to control over the market, sell the product in a particular market at lower cost, which the other firm cannot produce. So this is called natural monopoly. In natural monopoly arises when there are economies of scale over the relevant range of output. Economies of scale, you have large numbers of quantities you can produce at lower cost. You have that your own expansion is very that high at the market. So no monopoly, and if you see the perfect competition, monopoly in the monopolistic market structure, there is the sole producer, one producer. He's only the producer of the product that and faces downward sloping demand curve. He will be the price maker. But if he want to increase the demand, he has to reduce the price of the commodity. But in case of competitive firm, perfect competition, there are many producers, many sellers and buyer. They face the horizontal demand curve. They are just price maker, they are not price taker. Let us see the in case of perfect competition, the price is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to marginal cost. P, price of a commodity, here MR, marginal revenue, MC, marginal cost, they all will be equal to each other. Whereas in case of monopoly firm, the price exceed the marginal cost, means price is greater than marginal revenue, which is equal to marginal cost. We'll discuss through diagram in coming slides. As there is only one seller of the in the monopoly, the demand curve or monopolist is the same as the industry I have already stated. Generally, the demand curve of an industry is downward sloping to negative relationship between price and quantity demanded. Quantity demanded, hence the demand curve of the monopolist is the downward sloping, means higher the price, lower the demand, and lower the price, higher will be the demand. See, the first demand curve in case of perfect competition, where the demand curve of the firm is horizontal straight line and it is equal to MR, margin revenue, sorry, and this is equal to demand. Whereas in case of monopoly, like this second diagram, this is demand curve which is equal to AR, but this will not equal to marginal revenue because of this heterogeneous product. Here, homogeneous product. You are not able to differentiate one product with another product. But in case of monopoly, AR will be greater than MR. Here, MR will be less than this average revenue curve or demand curve. Now let us discuss the equilibrium of the firm under monopoly. Equilibrium of the firm under the monopoly. In the last lecture, last module, we have discussed that the equilibrium form means the point where MC is equal to MR and MC cuts MR from below. Means the point where marginal cost will be equal to the marginal revenue and marginal cost curve intersect the marginal revenue from below. That will be the equilibrium of the firm. And if the firm may be in equilibrium, there are two types of we have discussed on the equilibrium form in the short run and equilibrium of the firm in the long run. Here we also discuss the equilibrium form in the short run as well as in the long run. In the short run equilibrium, if the firm in the equilibrium in the short run, that time maybe firm can face the supernormal profit, normal profit and minimum loss. And similar condition we have discussed in the perfect competition. But the difference between these two, in perfect competition, in the long run, the firms avail only the normal profit. Whereas in case of monopoly, in the long run, firm will avail supernormal profit. This is only market structure where in the long run firm can avail the supernormal profit. Means more than normal profit. Here, under the monopoly, price and equilibrium output determined through two approaches, like perfect competition. One, total revenue and total cost approach. Two, marginal revenue and marginal cost approach. Two approaches. And already we have discussed in last module also. Total revenue and total cost approach and marginal revenue and marginal cost approach. But second one is the more popular approach to know the equilibrium of firm, whether under the perfect competition or monopolistic competition, we'll discuss in next module, or whether under the monopoly. These two approaches very, very important. Total revenue and total cost approach and marginal revenue and marginal cost approach. Total revenue, total cost approach. This means that if a monopolist want to produce the quantity that maximize the difference between total revenue and total cost, the profit is difference between total revenue and total cost. More revenue, less cost, definitely there will be profit, and firm has only one motive, that to maximize the profit. He can earn, the monopolist can earn maximum profit by selling that amount of output at which difference between total revenue and total cost is maximum. So the point where the difference between total revenue and total cost will be maximum, at that particular point the producer want to produce his commodity. By fixing the different price of the monopolist tries to find out the level of output at which the profit will be maximum. Here, because of monopolist is only the only the producer in the market, so he can have that full control over the price. He can differentiate the price. He can sell same commodity at different prices to the different persons. So by that try to find out this level of output by changing or fixing the different prices in the market. But the goals of the monopolist is to maximize the profit, which is equal to revenue minus total cost, TR minus total. Here, this pi means profit, TR total revenue, TC means total cost. When total revenue will be more than total cost, that will be maybe supernormal profit. When total revenue is total cost, there will be an equilibrium, break-even point. When total revenue will be less than total cost, means firm will be in a loss. Even in case of monopoly, in the short run, firm can face the minimum loss. Firm can occur the minimum loss because of maybe sudden fall in demand due to depression, due to change in taste and preferences of the consumer. So during the short run, even monopolist can face the minimum loss. But in the long run, he will always avail the supernormal profit. Let us discuss or explain this through diagram. Last module we have also discussed the same diagram almost. This is the total revenue curve, this total cost curve, and the difference between total revenue and total cost is the profit. And this is the point where total revenue is total cost. Again, there is another point where the total revenue is equal to total cost. These 2 points is known as the break-even point. Break-even point, where total revenue is total cost. This point is known as the break-even. There are 2 break-even points. This and this. Break-even point means total revenue is equal to total cost. And when total cost is greater than total revenue, it means there is a loss. This through blue curve. This is the total profit curve. But if the firm produce just OQ quantity, up to OQ quantity, because of up to this point, below this point, total cost is greater than total revenue, so firm will occur here loss. OQ quantity, here is the loss, OQ quantity. And after, when the firm will able to produce OQ quantity, there is a no profit, no loss. Total revenue, total cost. Total revenue is equal to total cost. So it's a break-even point. But after this point, the total cost start decreasing, where total revenue is still increasing up to here. So it means this is the part when firm is able to produce OQ2 quantity, the firm will avail maximum output, maximum profit. No doubt, after this point also the firm has profit, but the total profit start decreasing. After Q2, OQ2, the total profit start decreasing. Now Q3 also the equilibrium point. Firm will not stop here to produce the commodity. Why? Because of after this point, the total cost is decreasing, but total revenue start increasing. But here, see, in this point, when the firm produce OQ quantity, the total cost and total revenue is equal. There is a break-even point, no doubt. But after this point, the total cost is higher, greater than total revenue. Here total cost is greater than total revenue. It means there is again loss. Here the firm can stop the production. But here still there is a possibility of increase in profit. So that's why firm will not stop the production. This is the maximum profit. OQ quantity. When firm will produce OQ quantity, this is the maximum profit. Why? Because of here there is a maximum gap between total revenue and total cost. Maximum gap between total revenue and total cost. Approach is margin revenue and marginal cost approach. Margin revenue means additional revenue. Change in total revenue due to change in quantity sold. Whereas marginal cost is the change in total cost due to change in quantity. Monopolist to be equilibrium should satisfy the following two conditions. One, margin revenue should be equal to margin revenue cost, and marginal cost must cuts MR from below. Equilibrium means a situation where firm don't want to change that particular situation. Maybe the firm will get maximum satisfaction in that particular situation. Margin revenue and marginal cost approach, if you explain further, a monopolist earns maximum profit when he is in equilibrium. The situation of equilibrium may be studied with reference to short period and long period. Short period we mean when some factor of production will be fixed. Short term refers to that period in which time is so short that a monopolist cannot change fixed factor of production like machinery plant. He can increase the production up to his existing capacity only. Supply cannot be changed. Monopolist can increase his output in response to increase in demand by changing his variable factor. Means supply can increase up to the existing capacity of the producer. The demand play very important role in short period. When demand decrease, the monopolist will reduce his output by reducing the variable factors only. Means short period is a time when all factor production will not be variable. There will be, for example, labor will be only the variable factors. Whereas in the long run, maybe all factor production will be variable. A monopolist will be in equilibrium when producer produces that amount of output at which I have already stated two conditions should be there fulfilled. One, marginal cost should equal to the margin revenue, and marginal cost curve cuts MR from below. When these two conditions are there, it means the producer will be in equilibrium. Marginal revenue of a monopolist or a monopolist margin revenue is always less than of its goods, price of its goods. When a monopoly decrease the price to sell one more unit, the revenue received from the previously sold unit also decreases. The demand curve is downward sloping. We have horizontal demand curve in case of perfect competition, but in monopoly, the demand curve will be downward sloping. Means higher the price, lower the demand, and lower the price, higher will be the demand in case of the monopoly. Although monopolist is a price maker, he is not price taker. He has full capacity to control over the supply of the commodity. He maybe influence the whole supply of the market. So let us explain with the help of this table. Total revenue, TR means total revenue, AR average revenue, MR margin revenue, and in a monopoly. Now, downward slope of demand curve means inverse relation between quantity demanded and price. Higher the price, see in this table, higher the price, lower the quantity demanded. As price decreases, quantity start increasing. Price 10, quantity demanded may be 1. Price 9, quantity demanded 2, 8, 3. As the price is decreasing, the quantity demanded by the consumer start increasing. Means producer is able to sell more quantity when he reduces the price of the commodity. Total revenue we have already studied in the revenue that price multiplied by quantity. The market price multiplied by quantity. Price is 10, quantity 1, total revenue 10. Price 9, quantity 2, the total revenue is 18. Similarly, 8, price is rupees 8 and 3, 24, and so on. So on, total revenue, price multiply by quantity. Whereas average revenue is the per unit revenue of the commodity. Total revenue divided by quantity. Total revenue 10, quantity 1, AR is 10. Total revenue 18, quantity 2, average revenue 9. So total revenue divided by quantity is the average revenue of the producer. As you know that the quantity increases, the revenue increases, quantity increases, revenue is also increasing, but average revenue start decreasing continuously. See, margin revenue, change in total revenue due to change in quantity, change in total revenue due to change in total quantity. Revenue 10, quantity 1, and if the quantity increase 1 to 2, total revenue increase 10 to 18, the difference between 18 minus 10 is 8. The margin revenue is 8. Then when quantity increase 2 to 3, total revenue increase 18 to 24. The difference between this change in total revenue due to change in quantity is 24 minus 18, 6, and so on. Here point is to be noted that initial stages the margin revenue is higher, and as the quantity increases, total revenue increases or quantity increases, the margin revenue start decreasing, and it may be 0 and then it start negative. Average revenue 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Average revenue is higher than margin revenue in case of monopoly. Average revenue will be higher as compared to margin revenue. 10, 9, 8, whereas 10, 8, 6. Margin revenue will be 0. Average revenue cannot be 0. Margin revenue will be negative or maybe negative, but average revenue will never become negative or 0. Let us explain with the help of this diagram. The demand curve. Average revenue curve is equal to demand curve, we know, and this also indicates the price of the commodity. But here downward sloping means higher the price, lower the quantity, and lower the price, higher the quantity. Inverse relationship between quantity demanded and revenue and quantity demanded and price. See, the marginal revenue is 0. Average revenue never becomes 0. It is above than margin revenue. Margin revenue here may be negative, but it is always positive. But both start decreasing as x-axis we have quantity, the quantity start increasing. Negative slope, downward sloping of MRN, margin revenue. This is red is margin revenue, and average blue is average revenue, which is equal to demand also. So downward sloping. But you know that in coming lecture we'll discuss the same diagram will be used in monopolistic competition also. But monopolistic competition, AR will be more flatter as compared to the monopoly. Monopoly we have steeper, less elastic demand curve, whereas monopolistic competition it will be more elastic. Although shape will be almost same, monopoly as well as monopolistic competition, but the difference in steepness will be in case of elasticity of the demand curve, of the AR curve and MR curve. Less elastic, more steeper as compared to monopolistic competition. Now, a monopolist in equilibrium may be face 3 situations. In the short period, supernormal profit, there can be normal profit, and there can be minimum loss. Minimum loss. Supernormal profit is a situation where the seller can earn profit above the normal profit. Supernormal means is a situation where seller can earn profit above the normal profit because of the seller has full control over the prices to be fixed to the product in monopoly, and the entry of new firm is also restricted. That's why the producer will gets supernormal profit in case of short period. The when AR average revenue is here, average revenue will be greater than monopolist earn the profit. When AR is greater than AC, the monopolist will be earn supernormal profit. When AR will be equal to average cost, there will be normal profit. When average revenue will be less than average cost, there will be a loss. There will be loss. So let us discuss first what is supernormal profit with the help of this diagram. Supernormal profit we have that here AR average revenue. Supernormal profit, as I have already stated, when average cost is less than average revenue. Average revenue and average cost. AC is average cost, AR is average revenue. MC is the marginal cost curve. Here y-axis we have prices and x-axis we have output quantity demanded. Now average revenue, marginal cost and average cost. In case of supernormal profit, average revenue should be more than average cost. You can see from this diagram. This OQ quantity, OT or OP price, where cost is OS, OR. E is the equilibrium point, where MC is equal to MR and MC cuts MR from below. Is MC equal to MR, MC cuts MR from below. And average cost curve here, you see the marginal cost curve intersect average cost where average cost is the minimum. And supernormal profit, PT, or you can say TSPR is the supernormal profit. PRST is the supernormal profit. This is the supernormal profit. Supernormal profit, the area equal to TSPR. This is the supernormal profit in case of short run. In case of short run we have. In the short run the monopolist will also earn the normal profit. If the short run equilibrium MC is equal to MR, the monopolist price AR will equal to its average cost. When AR is equal to AC, then he will earn only normal profit. Normal profit can be explained with the help of following diagram. You can see the normal profit here. Normal profit, similarly, x-axis we have output, y-axis we have price, cost, revenue. AR is the average revenue, MR is the margin revenue, AC, this is the short-term average cost, and MC is the margin revenue cost. And this is the E where MC is equal to MR, MC cuts MR from below, and OP is the program, this is the price. The point where average revenue is tangent to the average cost, or average cost is tangent to the average revenue, this is the normal profit. Here no profit, no loss. Here you can say equal. Here it means the firm is in equilibrium, and this end point shows the normal profit when average cost is equal to average revenue. So normal profit is nothing but when average cost is equal to average revenue. This is the normal profit in case of monopoly. Now the minimum loss. Third situation can be the minimum loss. It is not always possible for the monopolist to earn supernormal profit. If the demand and cost situations are not favorable, the monopolist may face short-term losses. Maybe he can face some losses. Losses means average revenue will be less than average cost will be higher. If the short term price falls due to depression or maybe is due to sudden change in the demand conditions, the monopolist may continue to produce his quantity, and maybe he will be in a loss. He will cover only average variable cost during this period, average variable cost. This can also be explained with the help of this following diagram. See, now the equilibrium condition will be same. MC is equal to MR. MC cuts MR from below. E is the equilibrium. Here firm is in equilibrium position, and here if the firm is equilibrium, that average revenue we have already is equal to demand and price. So this is, that if you see here, Q, A is the price, OP is the price of the quantity of the commodity. What cost is, this is average cost. This is the average cost. Means average cost is above the average revenue. B, A, up to here we are charging the price, but the cost is here B. So the quantity OQ quantity, whereas price is this one, this, and cost is this. It means P, OC minus OP is this is the loss. The whole area BACP is the minimum loss in the short run during the short run. This is short run average cost curve, short run marginal cost curve. When average cost curve is more than average revenue, the firm here's a firm is availing incurring the negative profit, which is equal to, you can say, loss. This loss may be due to sudden change in demand, due to depression, due to decrease in demand, or there can be some another reason. But firm, it doesn't mean if the monopoly who is who has the full control over the price, or he is the price maker, that doesn't mean he will always get supernormal profit or normal profit. No, he maybe can have a minimum loss in the short run when there will be a sudden change in demand, or there will be something. Now, second important thing is the long run equilibrium. Long run equilibrium will discuss when all factor of production is variable. In the long run, monopolist will be in equilibrium at the point where long run margin cost curve is equal to margin. The equilibrium condition remains same. Long run marginal cost curve should be equal to marginal revenue, and long run marginal cost intersect the marginal revenue from below. It will generally earn supernormal profit. This is very, very interesting and important. In case of long run, the monopolist will earn only supernormal profit, whereas in perfect competition, monopolistic competition in other market, in the long run producer avail normal profit, whereas in monopoly he will earn supernormal profit above the normal profit. Why? Because of in the long run, the firm has time to adjust his plant size to use the existing plant as to maximize the profit. He has the full capacity to change the factor of production as per the requirement. The long run equilibrium of the monopolist is, that can be explained with the help of this following diagram. Long run is a time when all factor of production is possible. The producer can change his factor of production. He can adjust the demand and supply forces of the market as per the requirement, as per the the demand of the market. So there's nothing fixed. All machinery, plant, everything is variable in case of long run. So long run, as we have already discussed, the long run average cost curve, or long run marginal cost curve, or long run any curve is derived from the short run. Here in this diagram, x-axis we have output, on the y-axis we have price, and OL is the quantity, OP is the price. We are discussing the supernormal profit. Supernormal profit will be when average cost or long run average cost will be less than average revenue. So see, Here equilibrium condition is this, E is the equilibrium where MC is equal to MR, MC cuts MR from below. This is the equilibrium point. Here margin cost, long run margin cost, short run margin cost curve, both intersect the margin revenue from below. And here average cost, long run average cost curve and short run average cost curve equilibrium, equal. But the firm is charging OP price, whereas the cost is only OT. OP minus OT, this area, BAPT whole area, this is equal to supernormal profit of the long run firm, monopoly, in case of monopoly. BA and PT is the supernormal profit. So in the long run, because of firm has, that monopolist has, that full capacity to change, he can change all the factor of production, so he will avail only the supernormal profit in long run. So we have discussed three situations in the short run: supernormal profit and the normal profit and minimum loss, and in the long run only the supernormal profit, because of in the long run all factor of production variable. As monopoly price exceed the marginal cost, profit maximization requires margin revenue equal to marginal cost, and that the downward sloping demand curve is the most important feature of in case of this monopoly or monopoly market. Now next part is about the price discrimination. Monopoly, because of he has full control over the price, so he or she can discriminate the price. Price discrimination means when the monopolist or any firm will change the price according to his requirement, or this, if he will sell the that same quantity to the different customers at different prices, we can say this is the price discrimination. The practice of selling the same goods at different prices to the different goods, even the cost of producing the two goods are same, is called price discrimination. When a producer will sell the same quantity to different prices to the different customers, is called price discrimination. Price discrimination is not possible when a good is sold in a competitive market. There's many firms selling at the market price, but here, because of the monopolist, the commodity which he is selling has no close substitute, so he can discriminate the price. Simply, price discrimination refers to the practice of selling the same product at different prices to the different buyers. Same product, different prices to the different buyers. In order to price discrimination, the firm must have the market power. This is very, very important. Market power, control over supply. More market power, more control over supply, the producer or the monopolist can, they have more discrimination, price discrimination power. Perfect price discrimination can be there. Perfect price discrimination refers to the situation when monopolist knows exactly the willingness to pay of each customer and can charge each customer a different price. When he knows the willingness, when he knows the capacity, actual paying capacity of the consumer, there are three important effects in the price discrimination. It can increase the monopolist profits, need to be separate customer according to ability to pay, and no arbitrage, mean the process of buying a good in one market at a low price and selling it in another market at higher price. These are not possible, and then there's a more possible to price discrimination. Let us discuss the types of price discrimination. Price discrimination may be divided into four types. 1. Personal price discrimination, geographical price discrimination, price discrimination according to use, and price discrimination according to time. Now, first, personal price discrimination. When a monopolist charges charges different prices from the different customers for the same product, then it is called the personal price discrimination. For example, it has become possible because of the ignorance of the customer, maybe. For example, a doctor charges different fees for the same type of operation from rich and poor. Maybe he will charge more price from the rich because of he know that the rich has more capacity to pay and poor has less capacity. So maybe he can charge less amount from the poor, more from the rich. This is the example of personal price discrimination, when the monopolist will charge different prices from the different customers of the same product. Geographical price discrimination, when monopolist charges different prices in different area for the same product. Product is the same, but price will be charges different according to the geographical structure, geographical situation of it in a particular area. So this is called as the price discrimination. For example, a seller may charge one price at the domestic market but a different price at international. The product is same, but the price will be different. In domestic market can be different, and the international market can be different. Even in the domestic market, there can be different prices in area according to the area. Now, according to use, price discrimination according to use, when the same commodity is put to different uses or different prices will be charges. For example, electricity usually sold at the cheaper rate domestic purpose but higher rate to the industrial uses. Same unit of the electricity will be charged higher in case of industrial uses as compared to domestic. Even domestic user, you can say that 100 up to 100 unit, maybe they are different prices, whereas the uses of the unit is same but the prices are different. Maybe after 100 there will be different charges. So when according to use, the monopolist will discriminate the price, that is called as the price discrimination according to use. Now, last one, price discrimination according to time. According to time, when monopolists sell the same product in different prices at different times, then it is called price discrimination according to time. The unit of the product is same, but according to time, peak hour, maybe he will charge more prices of the movie tickets. During the tourist season, maybe the hotel and other restaurant may be charge high prices, airline prices. Even telephone department may charge a low rate for late night or early morning calls and high rate for day calls. The consumption unit is the same, but the prices are different according to the time, according to the situation of that area. So these are four. Now, degrees of price discrimination. Professor A.C. Pigou has distinguished between 3 degrees of price discrimination. There are 3 degrees of price discrimination. One called price discrimination of the first degree, price discrimination of the second degree, and price discrimination of the third degree. Pigou has divided or distinguished degrees of price discrimination on the basis of 3. Price discrimination on the first degree, price discrimination of the second degree, and price discrimination of the third degree. Let us explain one by one briefly. What is the first degree price discrimination? In the first degree price, it is also known as the perfect price discrimination. First degree price discrimination is also known as the perfect price discrimination. Perfect price discrimination. The price discrimination of the first degree is to be said or to be occur when the monopolist is able to sell each separate unit of output at different prices. Simple words, it involves maximum possible exploitation of the each buyer, or you can say the producer charges the maximum price of the consumer is willing to pay for each amount of the commodity. In this case, sorry, the consumer is not able to enjoy any consumer surplus because of the producers, the monopolist will charge maximum price of a consumer according to his willingness to pay. Second degree price discrimination, the monopolist charge different prices for the different units of the same commodity. Second degree means when monopolists charge different prices for different units of the same commodity is called as the second degree price discrimination. This is more practical price discrimination. In this type of price discrimination, buyers are divided different groups and from each group a different prices is charged which is lowest demand price of that group. Now third degree price discrimination. Third degree price discrimination, the more common price discrimination. Here the monopolists divide entire market into 2 or 3 groups and charge different prices from each group. It occurs when sellers divide the buyers into 2 or more than 2 submarkets or group and charge different prices of the submarket. And this price charges in submarket need not be the lowest demand for that submarket. Now, conditions must be fulfilled in the price discrimination. Existence of monopoly power. The producer must have the monopoly power. He must have the full control over the market. Separate market should be there. The market must be divided into sub-market with different price of elasticity. There has to be an effective separation of the sub-market so that no reselling task takes place from low price market or high price market. So let us summarize the whole lecture. First part, we have discussed what is monopoly. Monopoly is the market from the situation in which a single producer control entire supply of a single commodity in which has no close substitutes. The commodity has no close substitutes. This is the important feature of the market, and the seller is the price maker. He is not price taker. He has full control over the price. There must only one seller. This is the second important feature we have discussed. The commodity produced by the producer must have no close substitutes. Monopoly can exist only when there are strong barriers to entry. The firm cannot enter firm. There is no possibility of entering the firm. The fundamental cause of the monopolist barriers we have discussed. Ownership, a key sources. The government gives a single firm the exclusive right to produce or through licensing some goods. Cost of production may make a single producer more efficient than a large number of producers. And we have discussed the profits, revenue, etc. Equilibrium point. When profit means total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue minus total cost. We have discussed monopolist will receive economic profit as long as the price is greater than average cost. When the average cost will be less than average revenue, monopolist will earn supernormal profit to normal profit. In long run, monopolist can earn only abnormal or supernormal profit. We have discussed in the short run there will be a normal profit, there can be a supernormal profit, there can be minimum loss, but in long run, monopolist will earn only supernormal profit. Price is greater than marginal cost and marginal revenue. We have already discussed in this module. We have also discussed the concept of price discrimination in detail and its effect on the various degrees, the types of the price discrimination, whether the first degree price discrimination, second degree price discrimination, or third degree price discrimination. So with this, thank you very much. Have a nice day.